Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here, your host for this fine Tuesday evening. We appreciate you guys tuning in to Seat Time. This is going to be episode 218. Endurocross just wrapped up. We had the TKO before that. They had a National Enduro this weekend, National Hare and Hound on the West Coast. Lots of crazy stuff to talk about. And Erek Kudla was only at like 8 of them. So it was perfect. I don't know how he does it. He's like all over the place. But we're going to have him on the show to chat with him just about life in general, a couple facial hair tips, and maybe what it's like to be a ginger when there's too many lights on in a room and too many mirrors. It could be weird. But of course, we are the online show for the off-road enthusiasts, and we really appreciate you guys tuning into our show. You can thank all of our fine sponsors by either going to your local dealer or your online retailer and make sure that you support the people that support us. So, of course, Fly Racing just released their 2017 gear lineup, and that is going to be available to you through dealers and online retailers very, very shortly. If you're a sponsored rider, you get a chance to get them a little bit earlier. I am not one of those people, so I don't have any of that shit yet. But I do have the kinetic mesh riding in summer. That's what you need. Of course, Kinda Tire. We are going to be doing a caption contest, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the TKO photo epic. But, so pay attention to Instagram because we will have a caption contest coming out where you can win yourself a rear Kinda Ibex. It's going to be a good time. There'll be a press release and shit all over the place. It's going to be fun, so thank you, Kinda Tires. And, of course, SRT Offroad. You can find more about those guys, srtoffroad.com. Craig Thompson, the man himself, sponsors a hell of a bunch of dudes out there racing dirt bikes and having a great time being an off-road enthusiast. So thank you to SRT for their support. Of course, you can find us on our website, seattime.co. If you want to subscribe to YouTube to get alerted to all of our videos, that's awesome. Stitcher and iTunes, Stitcher or iTunes, whichever way you want to look at it. However you do your audio podcast, go subscribe to us there so you can catch all the good stuff and not have to look at my face. And I'm going to say it again. The chat room is tlk.io/seattime, and I'm actually going to get in it. We'll see if anybody else does. We know Erek Kudla's in there because gingers. So, and then we're going to have all kinds of stuff to talk about, and we've got some stuff coming up. But really quick, let's check in with Mr. Erek Kudla. Mr. Kudla, how is your evening going, kind sir?
It's going good. Just finished cleaning the air filter, getting ready for this Timekeeper Enduro this weekend, Aces, and local series, and added a new section of my trail in the back, and got groceries.
Is it a section in your trail specifically to remind yourself how to time keep?
No, it's how to not suck at this stuff. Because it's
East Coast is weird, isn't it?
It is very hard and different. And there's no traction, but all the locals are like, it's great traction. So I don't know. I'm learning it. So I got some off-camera stuff, some when it gets wet, it's going to be really bad. So
yeah, no,
that's what I need to practice.
Off-camber, especially when it gets slick and weird, is wet. Now, TKO off-camber, slick, weird, and wet is a totally different animal. So go practice that too, so you can ride with us next year and not just walk around with your rule book, clapping it at people's faces,
slapping everybody in the faces.
I will DQ you.
Personal with you, you know. So that was cool. We were up in the canyon with the falls and everything, the waterfalls, and then I got to stand at the top of the shortest, hardest mud hill, I guess, right in front of your guys' cabin. I don't know if you were staying at the cabin, but no, you weren't. You were a long way away.
Yeah, that was Mr. Cook, Mr. Cack, Mark Cack, and his buddy Mark Weeks.
Mark, I call him Mike every time.
The Marks.
But anyways, yeah, so
Marxists.
Just moved to Ohio, and I've gotten to race like 5 weeks out of the 6 weeks that I've been here, and go to a bunch of other events, so it's been really cool.
That's the way we like to hear it, man. Well, okay, so we didn't get a chance to really talk to you too much after the TKO. What were some of your experiences? I mean, did you dug it, I would assume?
Oh, absolutely. That was my first time being at TKO, and so, I mean, most of us have seen it, at least us enthusiasts that follow Extreme Enduro and all that other stuff, but it was huge. It was a lot bigger than it looks. I mean, because the cameras can only get to so many places, so you only see the close stuff. The trail was, 17 miles or 14 miles or something? It was
yes.
Nearly impassable stuff the whole time. And then the spectators. There was a ridiculous amount of spectators. It was dumping rain all Sunday morning and most of Sunday, and there were still probably 2,000 people there, in my opinion, anyways.
Yeah,
It
was awesome to
was
see the
numbers.
growth. What's going to be interesting is as we get to the point that it grows, and if Red Bull does make it a signature series next year or do it live, either way, it's going to obviously draw more attention. And with their marketing giant behind it, to see the amount of people that will be there live, it's going to be pretty intense. And they're going to honestly have to figure out a better way to kind of funnel people around. Like the maps work, but they're not great.
They need some over-unders. They need some...
Yeah, they need to take some cues from a couple motocross tracks for sure.
Yeah, or Disneyland. I mean, it's that's what it was like. I mean, as soon as the race was over and they opened the tape, it was just a rush of people, just like some amusement park or like Black Friday or something like that, just to go back to their camp and finish barbecuing or whatever.
I love it was Black Friday. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way to look at it. Well, with all the content that was out there after the fact and some of the stuff that we just released today, I have to ask, did you get a chance to see the photo epic and that we put out, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I scrolled through it and then I wasn't in it, so I closed it.
That was how I missed out, right? It's like if I'd have put Erek Kudla in there, we'd have gotten 5 more seconds of your
I
love.
just had to spend some time because you got interviews of everybody and I was at work when I scrolled through, but it looked great. A lot of blurry photos that were cool. So
a lot of let's say quote unquote well done blurry photos.
Blur. Yeah, no, not in a bad way. Like it was like action shots, and you could tell that they were trying, and it was cool.
Yes, and that's one of the things is when I kind of get out there and take these pictures and stuff, I'm really kind of trying to play around with different techniques, if you will, because for me, I'm a big fan of Pinkbike. Pinkbike.com does some epic photo epics for a lot of the downhill events and Enduro the Enduro World Series that they have going on. And so I've really kind of tried to take cues from that to try to learn different techniques. The one that Steven's showing right now of Colton Haker down about a quarter of the way down the page is probably one of my favorite ones from the event. And it's kind of crazy that I'm like using a wide angle and I have a crop sensor. So for those who don't know what that means, I'm probably about 1.5 feet away from him. So like really, really close. But what did you think? Did you get a chance to listen to any of the audio?
Well, I was standing right there when you interviewed Ben Kelly. So
perfect.
I know it's going to be cool.
Well,
so
yeah.
I like the way that you interviewed it. It wasn't like you were just asking like, oh, and so what did you drink before the race? Nothing like that. It was content. It was good content. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate that.
I like your style for sure.
The fact that I'm a little bit more loose-lipped than most people.
Yeah, but still keep it professional, and you kept it rolling, and there wasn't any ums.
I love that. Thank you. I'm
cool.
glad that somebody actually notices that I try. Everybody thinks that I'm the crazy guy that drinks too much beer and gets on the internet, but in reality, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that we try to do to quote-unquote be much more professional. And so what we're talking about is the audio, so you can, when you're in the photo epic, I didn't get as much as I did last year, unfortunately, but one of the things is you can go, there's these little snippets, and they're on SoundCloud, so you can just play them right there in the photo epic, so you can actually hear the riders talk about things, and I've kind of labeled it so as it happened. Within the race. And we were talking about the photo caption. So actually where Steven, go ahead and scroll to that one right there with Mitch. Nope, down one, sorry. The one with Mitch. That is going to be the caption contest image. We will be posting that on Instagram sometime this week, and there will be a caption contest for this image, and you can play off of what Mitch said or didn't say in his quote to try to win yourself a Kinda Ibex tire. So we'll have a fun little hashtag for it, and you can it'll be on the Seat Time page. Everybody else is going to post about it, but the comments have to be on the Seat Time Instagram where we post it. So just watch out for that. So okay, well that's what we did, having fun with the TKO photo epic. I hope that you guys go check it out and enjoy it. Now there are ways to support Seat Time. At the very bottom, there's a link to go shop on Amazon. If you do that and buy something, that just gives us a little kickback for the fact that we brought you to Amazon. And the other one is just like, hey, that's pretty awesome. I'd love to donate $5 or $10 or whatever you feel it's worth it for us to try to keep doing this kind of shit. So, and hi again. Have you learned how to ride in the mud yet by being at the TKO?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not at all. It's because even this weekend there wasn't mud. Ask any local, it was dry, bone dry, but there was a few spots. Trust me, because I knew it and I had a hard time in it. But no, I mean I'm learning, and the Aces series, the local Ohio series, is gonna be it's gonna be good. I mean I'm gonna do it this coming weekend, and so I'm looking forward to training and just doing what everybody said was just go faster, just don't slow down. So I guess that's my thanks, Taylor, and thanks, Brian, and everybody else. Um, yeah.
Well, you'll have a good time doing it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. I mean, it is what it is. It's awesome, and it's a lot of fun, and everywhere I go is brand new, so I really like it a lot.
I know. Well, let's talk about the National Enduro a little bit. So, one, tell me why it's called the Grassman National Enduro, because I'm like, the Grassman. I was like, what in the heck?
I didn't get a chance to ask them the history of that, but all of the stuff that they had the Yeti on it. Everything had Bigfoot, and their trophies were Bigfoot, and their T-shirts were Bigfoot, and they have a pre-run clip of Bigfoot riding through the woods on a dirt bike, and all this stuff. So I think it has something to do with that, probably.
Okay.
I would imagine.
Grassman, also known as the Ohio Grassman, is a legendary ape-like cryptid that reportedly inhabits the grassland of Ohio. No shit.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's the best.
If you hadn't said anything about the Sasquatches, I wouldn't have looked it up.
Yeah,
it's a Bigfoot type creature.
Everything Sasquatch, and I mean that is absolutely a great way to sell your event. I think I like the Sasquatch. There's actually a band out of Hesperia called Thrash Squatch, and they're like a thrash metal band, and all the songs are Yeti themed.
Do they have links to their songs on the internet that you could send me later?
Yes, right now.
Nah, well, don't overdo it, man. I got to pay attention to my show. But yes, send them my way. That'll be epic. I would like to listen to some Thrash Squatch. I can't say that fast once, let alone 3 times. But talk to me about the National Enduro a little bit. You were saying it was dry, it was hot, you found a tad bit of mud, but it really wasn't that comforting.
No. So I mean, this was a national caliber event, and I got on minute 81. That was cool. Pennsylvania, I did the Pennsylvania National Enduro as well a couple weeks ago, and I was on minute 10. So it's like the opposite end of the crap spectrum. And Pennsylvania was rocky and fun. That was cool, but then there was a couple of really, really tight sections for me anyway, and that was not as cool. But then Ohio, like I said, I was minute 81, and it was really, really hot, probably mid to high 90s, and 60% humidity. And I started at 10:20, so by about test 4, it was really hot. And
for sure. Man,
and it was really
did you get on
challenging,
81 because you didn't register soon enough, or did you get on 81 because you picked it?
No, I did not pick that. I forgot to register, and I registered in the morning, and that was it. That's how fast it goes. I mean, it was probably, I think it was open for 10 hours, and it was open already up to 81. So they were up into the 120s or something like that, I think. I got to look. But they had, I mean, there was a lot of people there. And it was a good event. I mean, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
That's pretty spectacular, dude. But we saw Thad Duvall get the win. And if we look at the results, it's pretty awesome to see that Thad Duvall coming out, getting his first National Enduro win. 120 minutes and 54 seconds. 124 minutes and 36 seconds was Russell Bobbitt right behind him. So not even a full minute. I love that. That is just blows my mind that these guys are going to go through 6 national gnarly test sections, and they will not, at the end of the day, be a full minute apart. I mean, it blows my mind. And I'm going to be 30 minutes behind them, whatever their score is.
Oh, yeah. Look at 126 overall. That's me.
Let's go. 126, Erek Kudla. You were in the 30A class on a KTM, which is nice, and you were 164 minutes. 67. Yes. 167. So you were 44 minutes slower?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
But I wasn't last, so that's
true.
cool.
How'd you do in the 30A class?
Yeah. Well, no, I've been in the third. This is my third year. I mean, I'm 33. So.
No, I mean, how'd you do?
Oh no, I didn't get last. I got 22nd
There you go, buddy.
out of 28. So it's not last. You know what though? I was the last person that did all the tests. So.
Dude, if whatever, that just means you finished. Fuck them.
So what? Yeah. Well, no. What happened was the fifth test was 10 miles long, and at the 5 mile mark, I gave up. I said, I'm over this. I'm going home, but the shortest way is back on the whole course. That's what that was. So I just rode.
Talk to me. Why did you give up? Why did you try to pull a Brian Pierce like he did at the TKO?
It was so hot. It was so hot, but I didn't give up like you. I went to the finish line. I got all the way to the finish, and I was 22nd in class, last guy that did all the tests. And the biggest reason I did that was the only way I was going to beat the B rider on my row.
Because you were like, I'm not pulling a Brian Pierce?
Yeah, I'm not pulling a Piercy. I was sitting at the end of the fifth test, and I was like, I tell everyone not to give up. Crap. And so then I just finished because it was 6 miles down the road or 6 miles down the trail. I'm like, nah, I'm going the trail. And that was the coolest section as far as scenery. And so it was cool. You know, it was super hot though. I mean, that was really it. It was super hot. I just got to a point that it started test 5. We were sitting there for about 10 minutes just in the sun. And like, I'm over this. I'm so hot. So,
yep.
But it was still, like I said, it was a blast. It was still, I was on the bike, I was trail riding, and that was kind of the whole time I was thinking is like, at least I'm not doing something stupid. So
this is true.
I'm riding. So
I'm not doing drugs inside of some broken down house somewhere.
Which apparently is most of Ohio.
Is it really?
Apparently there was like 38,000 deaths this year so far.
Oh, I feel bad now.
Not to talk crap on the state, but that is something like it's been in the newspaper a lot. It's kind of weird.
Well,
it doesn't look like it. Like
I know. Well, you do look like you might have a little bit of a hovel house. You don't even have any furniture. Like if there was like 3 people passed out, like with empty pizza boxes.
Yeah, my dog is passed out. Let's see, he's done. He follows me on the trail.
Does he really?
Yeah, he runs after me, but he cuts the course like a dick, and like catches me, and then yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That jerk. Well, it's fun to look at the results because I remember seeing Thad Duvall when he was posting, and now that you mentioned the Sasquatch, I do remember seeing the picture of him holding the Sasquatch trophy, talking about how he won, and he made a comment in there. He's like, "Sorry if I screwed up the points for anybody," because obviously he's not in the points chase. This is the first National Enduro he's done this year, and is obviously his win. Is it his first National Enduro ever?
I think that's what he said. Or no, that's his first National Enduro since 2012.
Okay, so first National Enduro win for sure.
I think that's the first time he's ever won one. He was like, oh, I'll just do one.
He didn't really F much up because right now Russell Bobbitt's got the lead, 174 points, and then Baylor is in third, Grant Baylor with 153. Then we got Stuart Baylor in second with 152. But they were so close.
That's pretty close.
But they were so close, they would have. Grant Baylor would have had 14 points, and Stuart Baylor would have had 16 points. So luckily, that's nothing. That wasn't a thing. And then Josh Strang is fourth in the series right now with 118. Again, if he would have had the 4 extra points, that wouldn't have really like gotten him that much closer to Grant Baylor. So honestly, like for the top 5 guys, it really didn't do anything, which is great.
Well,
for it not to like be a thing.
You know what? When people say that. When like Thad says that to me, that's racing. He shouldn't have come and beat those. I mean, they shouldn't have let him beat them. I mean, if that's it, they let him win. I mean, granted, they all tried super hard, but I mean, that's racing. That's part of it. You know, you got to beat these guys that show up out of nowhere. And
when Erek Kudla moves to Ohio and joins the 30A class.
Did you hear, too? Taylor Robert did the exact same thing at the National Hare and Hound.
I know. We were going to talk about it. How insane.
That's a great segue.
That's his first National Hare and Hound ever.
Ever.
And he won it. But Gary Sutherland was keeping him honest.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
He was 5 seconds behind him at the end of Loop 2. But that was awesome. Because, one, I kind of, like of course he was a late entry, so I had to get him in there, you know. But I'm giving him a hard time because he's an ISDE guy and then he was late to sign up. So, anyways, So, so it was cool that he was coming. I was really excited to see that he was coming, and I was like, well, it is a slower style Hare and Hound because of where it's at in Caliente and Nevada, which is like just this little town in the middle of it actually used to be a stop for the steam train, and it used to have to fill up with water right there, and that's why the train station is right there. And now there's that town there,
Is there still a whorehouse? Because we know there was one when there was a train.
Oh, I mean, it is Nevada. I think it's illegal there though in that county, because that area is very, very Mormon. Like pretty much that whole belt, all the way down to Utah. If you look up the history of a lot of those places, it's somewhere the Mormon Trail stopped. Like they were just going south, and they were like, "This is fine." And
I'm done walking.
This is great. Our carriage broke down right here. We'll stay here. That's generally because when we travel all over the place, we Google. My girlfriend Ocean Googles whatever little town we're going through. If you're going, there's a right turn and there's a little town and there's a left turn and you're out of it already. And finding out why that's there, and it's kind of cool to know, to learn that about those places. So, anyways, Caliente. Yeah, it was a slower race, and he got out front in the beginning, and even for him, he said it was fast as far as racing goes, but for Hare and Hounds, it's one of the slower ones.
Okay, is it like much more rocky, or just like much more single track, or what
it's
was
just tighter? Okay. You're in like big cedars and in washes and going up to the side of mountains and down the side of mountains, because they're about I think 2,000 feet or 1,000 feet above Vegas, so you're in the mountains. I mean, there's some pretty hectic climbs and descents, but I mean, not any more rocks than the regular desert. It's just our regular desert. You'll go 7 miles across a valley that way.
Right.
And that's it. And that's where you're going. And when you get to that side, you're going to do some stuff, and then you're going to have to come 7 miles back across that valley. So, and as fast as you can go, period. And so it's a little different. It's just, so actually the finale this year is going to be in Lucerne. And the next 2 rounds actually are Red Mountain for Jackrabbits, and I'm actually going to be there. So I'll be there for Jackrabbits and for hundreds. I just got the thumbs up to go to the hundreds, the finale, and give the number 1 plate. Shake.
That'll be fun for you. It's not like you haven't ever done that before.
Yeah, no, it's going to be the first for everything. But no, it'll be cool because it'll be kind of be able to go back and help, but then also not be 100% in charge of it and actually get to watch it all happen. So it's cool.
So it turns out Steven sent me a text message and I totally missed it. He said, "Do you get any TKO video footage from this year?" It was somebody hit us up on the YouTube chat. We did. For those of you who don't know, I'm still working a full-time job. Steven and I opened a co-working studio as a secondary way to fucking lose money. And then we do seat time, we do all this other stuff, and then of course we have families. So honestly, like my night up until today, putting out the photo epic has been going through photos like the hour or 2 hours that I have. And so now, once we have that, now that that's up, I'm going to start going to the video footage to be able to put some raw footage up for you guys again, like we have in the past. We've just been way too swamped for us to be able to like roll through all that kinds of stuff. So thank you for asking. It will be up there. And honestly, Steven's probably going to get the Seat Time Adventures video done for next week before I'm going to get the TKO footage done. We've just got our hands in too many things, and it's kind of crazy, but it is what it is, and I'm appreciative that you guys care enough to ask about it. Speaking of stuff to come, though, we were talking a little bit about Team USA and the ISDE. What did you think of the shirt that we're working on, Mr. Erek Kudla?
It's awesome.
Did you get a picture of it, Steven? Oh, he's grabbing it right now. We don't have it yet. He's bringing it up, folks. It's gonna be there. So, as it's coming up to the third quarter, and as we were talking about we did a first quarter, a second quarter. We want to do a third quarter, and then we're gonna have everything plus a new shirt for sale right before Christmas. And so, we're hoping that this goes a certain way that we can partner with the AMA. We just, if it doesn't, that's okay too. But regardless of us partnering with them or not, half of the proceeds will go to the Team USA. If we write a check to Eric because we partnered up or didn't, we're going to write a check, and it's going to go to Erek Kudla for the ISDE guys. So definitely look for that.
To me.
Well, to Erek Kudla's hand.
It does. It goes care of Erek Kudla.
Care of Erek Kudla.
Yeah.
And so with that, though, we wanted to give a little bit of our beer drinking and bench racing panache, if you will, to this T-shirt. So it's all about fueling up and hydration station, if you will. So once Steven gets that going, he'll put that up there for you guys to check out while we continue to talk. So what's next for you, though, Mr. Erek Kudla?
Oh, yeah. So I was talking to you a little bit earlier about AMA Congress. And so, it's kind of cool because I'm brand new and I get to go straight into pretty much the biggest thing that the AMA does. I mean, one of the largest. This is what the AMA is really. It's what AMA Congress is representatives from every district in the United States, which is every region, and there's 44 districts actually. So they go all across the United States, and there are representatives that represent recreation, competition, ATV, and there's a couple different congressmen for each region. And not all regions have congressmen because not all regions are active, but they all come together. They all make rule proposals for things to look forward to in the future. Things to be changed, things that need to be addressed because it's 2001, not 1968 anymore. And they all, it's a 3-4 day deal. They vote on it and they put together the rules and put together the programs. And that is actually what the AMA rulebook is run on. It's not something that the AMA creates and dictates. It's something that all the individual districts actually write themselves. And so it's kind of, it's a cool thing to like be writing some stuff up, and this is going to be the future of off-road. I hope it works kind of thing, and so it's really cool. It's really cool to be a part of it, and that's what's coming up in the first week in October.
Well, what is your part play in that? Are you a congressman in this sense of a district, or are you a director?
No.
So you're.
I don't have any role as far as that goes. This year we can make staff submissions, so there'll be staff submissions along with the Congress submissions, and the Congress submissions. A lot of that has to do with off-road committees and stuff that have been put together. Off-road commission, that has people like Alan Rand, Antti Kallinen, Jay Hall, Rob Niemela, guys from all over that are part of big series that also help put together some of the rules and stuff that then the congressmen propose and they submit. And then basically what I do is I manage the meeting and just make sure it keeps moving forward, and we keep voting on things and we keep discussing things and we try not to get sidetracked on, because if any of you have ever been to a District 37 meeting, it's going to be like that, but with 20 or so different districts all in the room at the same time.
So it sounds like you're going to have to moderate the shit out of it.
It's going to be fun. I've been part of meetings like that for quite a while. I went to a lot of the District 37 meetings, not a lot. I don't want to say anything against the guys. There's people that have been going to the meetings for 40 years, every meeting, or been going to for 10 years every meeting, or whatever. And I've gone to a handful of the meetings, but I've participated. And then we run the NHHA meetings, and then we run all our club meetings. So there's a lot of different levels of that kind of stuff that I've gotten to do. So I'm actually really looking forward to being a part of it because I think, like I said, I'm really excited about it. Because
is there a way that you think you could slip a rule in that says that Seat Time is the official show of the AMA Racing?
You just got to get it submitted by congressmen.
You said that there's staff submissions, bro.
Oh yeah, there is. Write me a proposal. I'll see if it makes sense. It's too serious. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of a good joke on that. But
that was pretty good.
That's not really. Obviously, I got to take it more seriously. But
you don't have to. You're choosing to.
Yes, and but there's a lot of cool things that are coming up as far as Congress goes. We've got a lot of exciting submissions and ideas from a lot of different areas that are going to be worked on at this Congress, and I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool, all the things that we have coming up.
I like it. We just got trolled by Jacob Argubright in the chat room.
Oh, he said, yo. Cool.
I know. But He's like, bro, it's 8:30. It is my time. I'm like, I don't know. Erek Kudla is making a lot of sense right now talking about things on the internet.
Okay, well, I guess we can just be real quick since Jake's ready, if he's ready.
Oh no, I'm being honest. I
Oh,
was saying that we're having good conversations.
okay, good.
So to kind of wrap up the AMA Congress thing, is this something that we as AMA members should start to try to reach out to our congressmen now if we think that there's something that they should try to bring to the table, or is it too late for that and we should be paying more attention earlier?
Well, the due date is tomorrow.
So wow.
So no, but that's something that we're working on towards for next year. But as far as that, you can contact your congressman actually on the AMA website. If you go to the AMA website, congressman is right on there, and your congressman is all listed, and you can contact him. You can contact all the congressmen if you want, and if you have something that you believe in and that you think should be addressed, you can find. Because a lot of them are very specialized. Some of them are MX congressmen, or some of them are we do specifically dual sport, or we do something like that. I lost my train of thought now, but anyways, you contact a handful of them, and you'll find one that understands what you're talking about, like if it's enduro or Hare and Hound or something like that, and can help you out and might help put together a proposal. So you can do that kind of at any time, but the due date's tomorrow. So, yeah.
We missed that one. We missed that.
I missed that one. But also
Soon.
another way to get involved is to be a part of a local district if you have one. I know a lot of places like Ohio and a lot of the places on the east and the central, middle, and to the north and south and east.
Texas.
Texas and Oklahoma and places like that don't have recognized districts, but the places that do, West Coast, a lot of places on the East Coast, a couple in the middle there. Your district has a congressman that's been voted as the congressman, been nominated, and that's the person. So if you go through your district and have an issue and you want it to be brought up to the to Congress and to potentially be part of the rule book, and then you got to be proactive. You got to make it happen. But that's what it's all about, and that's what I think is really cool about being on this side of the AMA is actually seeing how big and important the process is. I mean, there's a when you're not part of the AMA or you're somewhere that's not really involved with them, they're just, I got to pay them $49, and that's it. Okay. But you don't realize that there's a lot more to it. It's the rules are written by you guys, and we just enforce them. Yep. That's what you want. That's what we're doing.
He walks around with the rule book in his back pocket, just getting ready to DQ people.
Yeah, no, that's all I do.
Okay, really quickly, give me the key points of to why the Tennessee Knockout Extreme Enduro is not an enduro. Go.
Oh, because you can walk the course. I mean, it's like the first rule it's in the general rules, and I think it's the first or second rule in the rule book for the enduros themselves is you can't walk the course. So there you go.
So what do we call it? An extreme hare scramble? Extreme scramble? Extreme har? I
think, what we actually are coming up with is an extreme off-road discipline. That's one of the big things that we're doing at Congress, or I'm actually Nick Farringer helped to kind of initiate it. And, I was kind of walking around the pits in Pennsylvania at the National Enduro, just randomly walked over to Nick and said, "Hey, Nick, what do you want? I'm the AMA guy. I got my shirt on. What do you want? What can I do for you? What do you need? What do you think should be different?" And he's like, Enduro needs to be harder. We need to make a series that I can win. so he's like, we need to make an extreme series. And so I was like, okay, well, let's write some rules up. Let's create a discipline. And it's the first step to anything at all, national, regional, whatever, is having a discipline and having a definition of that in the rule. And so step one is creating that extreme off-road discipline. And that's the step that we're in right now. And it's the first step to a lot of things, which will be really cool. So that's one of the big things that that I'm very excited about.
I like it. Extreme off-road. It makes it sound much less interesting, but at the same time, it makes it sound less like an enduro that it actually isn't.
But that's what it is. I mean,
I'm with you.
Still call it an extreme enduro, whatever you want to call the event, that's fine. But it's so that it's not breaking the rules. That's basically what it is. It's so that we can define what it is, and we're keeping it. I'm keeping it very wide open because, as you know, I mean, the whole thing about extreme enduro is you don't know what it's going to be. You show up and they're going to go, oh yeah, okay, so it's 5 on a row, but this one only kind of counts. The next one's with the one that really counts. Or they say, okay, amateurs first. Like King of the Motos the first year. That was this very big surprise. They just went, surprise, you're first. Oh, and it's a Le Mans start. There you go. Have fun with that. So then that was something we decided right on the fly, and that's kind of what I want to instill in the events is that it's kind of going into the unknown. And even if they say it on the fly or whatever, every event's different. They've all got their own flavor. They've all got their own thing, and so that's what I want to be able to define that and make it define the undefinable, I guess, make it something real that we could expand upon as the AMA and as off-road community as a whole.
I like it. Well, I'm just excited because what was fun meeting you at the TKO and being able to talk to you about some of this stuff is to really get into your enthusiasm, and it shows the first time we talked to you about seat time after you got into the AMA, and it shows now. And I think everybody out there should be extremely stoked that we have somebody like Erek Kudla behind the wheels of kind of like off-road racing in America right now with AMA racing, because of the fact that this is what we need. We need somebody who actually gives a shit. And wants us to be better, wants us to have more fun, and kick ass on dirt bikes, because dirt bikes are rad and enduros are hard.
Yeah.
So and there's always that.
And next time I come on, I'll talk about ISDE qualifiers for next year. That's something big. So next time though. So,
I like it. Well, yeah, we'll do that next time, because Jacob Argubright is waiting to talk about his awesomeness from this past weekend and all the things that he's been doing this year. Well, obviously, as always, we appreciate your time and your effort, kind sir, and have fun out there. Keep us abreast of the AMA Congress and all of the racing that you do, and I'm sure that within the next month we'll probably have you back on, because it's just good to talk to such a fine, young, upstanding gentleman.
You said doo-doo.
Okay,
I gotta go now.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye. All right, we're gonna get Mr. Jacob Argubright on. So as we pull up Mr. Jacob Argubright, what I wanted to let you guys know about is this Thursday evening, we're going to try to pull together to get on the Muddy Microphone podcast. So this is a friend of Steven's that he's met behind the scenes, just because we've done Seat Time and he's done Muddy Microphone podcast. And through us doing our 2 podcasts, Steven has reached out and become friends with this dude and started chatting with him. And after we did Seat Time Adventures, he thought it'd be really cool for us to come on and have a chance to talk about Seat Time Adventures to him, while also talking about some of the idiosyncrasies that go on with podcasting and just being people in the world of the internet. So that'll be pretty interesting. So go give a search for Muddy Microphone Podcast and subscribe to that channel. Check them out. I do believe it's a podcast only, and we may be streaming it while we're working on it. We're trying to figure all that out, but just pay attention for it sometime Thursday evening. And then Mr. Jacob Argubright, thank you, kind sir, for not only jumping in the chat room and making Mr. Mark Cook feel special, but thank you for coming on the show and just being awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be on.
I know, it's been so long. And I think this is the first time that you're actually sitting at a desk. I feel like every other time you were like sitting on the floor, like leaned up against the wall.
Yeah, I got my office together. I think the last time I was in my van or like hanging out with my dog. And
It's probably true. It's okay. Well, I think that's one of the best things about this show is that we've had people in Starbucks, we've had people in McDonald's, we've had people on the floor in their van. Like, I love that. Like, honestly, like, yes. Let's just get on the internet and talk, because that's what this is more about than it needing to be some, high standard or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I like that calendar behind you. Is that an official Husqvarna calendar? Because it looks like it's the colors.
It is. It's an official Husqvarna calendar, and I use it for all my racing.
I was about to say, does it officially also have all of your races on it? I like it. Well, dude, What the heck have you been up to? I mean, I know that, like, obviously this past weekend you raced a national Hare and Hound, but we haven't heard about you guys for a while over there on the West Coast. So what the heck have you been up to?
Well, my wife is now the chairwoman of NHHA.
Nice.
So I've been helping her. Yeah, I've been helping her do that, and a lot of big changes there. And I went and did Vegas to Reno, Best in the Desert.
That's right. That's right.
I Ironman that 2 weeks ago, and that was fun. And just been training and doing the last couple of Hare and Hounds.
Okay, I have a question. Let's go to the Vegas to Reno, and when you Ironman that race, talk to me a little bit about what that's like, because again, I'm a Texas guy, never really raced on the West Coast kind of a thing. So tell us a little bit about the event itself, and then what it's like to Ironman that kind of an event.
Well, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of logistics. Like, I want to get into rally racing, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do a long distance desert race, because I do Hare and Hounds and stuff, but they're only like 100 miles, and each day was at least 300 miles. There was 2 days,
right?
And just kind of broaden my horizon and try something different.
Well, it's interesting you say that about rally racing. What rally events have you been looking into potentially to give a go at? I see. Is that a road book actually hanging in your window?
It is. It is actually Quinn Cody's rally book.
Nice.
Yeah. So I know Baja Rally is sold out for this year, but I'm still trying to get in. As far as, go ahead.
I have a spot for you.
Do you?
I can't go, and I have a spot.
I'll take it.
Seriously, I can't go, and like I've been trying to find somebody to buy the spot from me, and you don't even like. We'll talk about it, but that's awesome. I think we can get. I'll talk to because Scotty's been texting me. He's like, "What are we gonna do?" I was like, "I don't know, man. Like I can't go. Like work's fucked me." So.
Yeah, I'd love to go, and I'm currently building the bike right now and just trying to get it working and stuff. And I just got to learn the navigation. I know that's the hard part, and I really got to work at it.
Well, so. This is taking a totally different turn, and I'm excited about this turn because I really do think that rally is a sport that has not come to the States correctly, in the sense that I don't know why it hasn't caught on more. Maybe it's just honestly because we don't have enough events, which we only have like 2 or 3 in the States. But the fact that the Baja Rally happens, there's other rallies that happen down in Mexico. Like these are places that people should go do these events because to me, it's the old timekeeping enduros on steroids. You know, it's much less of the mental timekeeping, right? The actual physical clock, and 8 times harder is all the navigation, you know, that took the place of just being there on time. Now you're like actually following that stinking road book to figure out how, where, and why, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I could barely follow directions to like go to restaurants and places. So it's definitely on steroids.
What? So with going through working with Quinn Cody, going through his rally book and stuff like that, like what are some of the key points that you think you're starting to gather and pick up on?
Well, I'm actually not quite there. I was given that by Robbie Goldsby, and we kind of had a chat on the phone, and he just told me when I'm ready, when I get the bike together and get my road book stuff together, then I'll go out with him and do his course, and he'll kind of show me some things. But I did a couple times use what's it called? Is it a jart chart or whatever, the enduro things with the little knobs?
Oh yes, yeah. Like the route, the route chart, yeah.
Yeah. So for Vegas to Reno, a couple of times I have a couple loops in the Lucerne, like road loops I made. And I just literally went on rallynavigator.com, I think it is, and just made my own.
Nice.
And just like hand rolled it just to get some like super basic practice.
That's awesome, though. I'm glad that it's such a weird. It's just different. Like especially like for me, it was the growth of timekeeping enduros, right? I did that growing up with my father. So now that we're into the national enduros where there's no timekeeping involved, it was kind of like, okay, I just had to get the brain thinking again in that whole regard. So looking down and going off of this sheet, right? You're just looking at more crap on the sheet than you were off of the route sheet from an enduro. It made sense. And so it was, again, by no means was I fast. though I was only 2 seconds slower than Charles Jersa one day, if I do remember correctly. I just want to say I did blow up the bike the next day too, but fuck it, whatever. But it's interesting. So have you reached out to Dave Peckham at Rally Management Services?
I have not.
He might be a good guy too. I mean, you're saying all the right names. Like the good thing is you're not like, talking to Joe Blow, whoever. The good thing, you've got Charles Jersa obviously has done the Baja Rally, and won the amateur class. He's gone back for the pro class. Like he's going to be a great recess for you, and I know you guys are super close. And then of course you've got you're talking about Quinn Cody, and then there's so many other people. Alex Martins at Conflict Motorsports would be a good one, and Dave Peckham at Rally Management Services. Both of those guys would be huge contacts that are less inundated in your side of the dirt bike industry and more inundated in the rally side of the dirt bike industry.
Yeah, and another awesome name who I just met this weekend is Kellen Walsh. He was the hare for the Hare and Hound, and he rode on his rally bike.
No.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You're like, hey, buddy?
Yeah, seriously. He sat at the autograph signing, and we got to hang out, and like he was awesome, and I'd like it if he helped me too.
That's so cool, man. Well, that's really exciting. So are you, with the bike that you're building, are you getting help from Husqvarna on that, or is it something you're kind of piecing together on your own, or maybe a little bit of both? Or
it's a little bit of both. My boss, Timmy, has been awesome. He's been awesome through everything, especially Vegas to Reno, because he knows a lot about Baja and like long distance desert races. And I know I just got to keep talking with him and just kind of let him guide me, because I think he knows how to get more resources than I do.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I guess it's understandable. I mean, like, he's older, he's been around, he's also your team manager, so his contacts at this point are much deeper than yours. I think as long as you're asking him the right questions, that he's going to come up for the, with the right answers for you. So it's probably a smart move. A smart move. That's awesome, dude. I really do hope that you have that we can make this work. I have no idea. We'll have to talk to Scotty to see if that's a valuable swap for you to do the Baja Rally in my spot, but that would be epic.
Wait. Is Seat Times going to sponsor me for my entry?
Again, like I said, we're going to have to talk about this. I don't really know what Seat Time would get out of this at this point in time, so we'll have to see what that looks like.
Good helmet cam.
Bro, we're so beyond helmet cams, man. Helmet cams were so 2012, bro. No, seriously, we'll chat. It'll be fun. We'll see what happens. National Hare and Hound this past weekend. It was interesting because we got a chance. Erek Kudla and I were chatting on it a little bit. You jumped in the chat room, and then you and Mark Cook got a chance to go into all that kinds of stuff. So it's interesting. I want to hear it from your perspective as a racer, that this is a Hare and Hound that is not as fast as some of the other Hare and Hounds, but then a little bit rockier and things of that nature. So explain that a little bit more from the racer's perspective on what some of that means.
Well, the course generally there is a lot of fun, flowy sand washes, and you'll go into some trees, and like it's tighter. But this past weekend, they actually stepped up the difficulty of it. It was constantly rocky, and it wasn't like anything stupid. It was just constant rock, and like actually it was a perfect race for Taylor Roberts to come to, because the course was wet. They had a lot of rain, and so traction was good, and it was rocky, and like it was well marked, and it was a good race.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, so rocky in a National Hare and Hound. It's like, you've seen pictures that Mark Correa has taken and things of that nature, and I've seen lots of rocks, right, in the videos that Bo Coddington has put out and things of that nature. So from what Eric was describing earlier, where maybe you guys have this 7-8 mile long valley, is that sometimes that's more sandy to some of the rockier sections that you guys would ride, and then you maybe come back in some of those more sandy sections again, so it's not always kind of that constant rock?
Yeah, so it depends where you go.
Okay.
If you go down in Southern California, it's sandy everywhere. It's sand with like a hard pack base, and you could be going across valleys that are really sandy, but the sand up in Nevada is different, and the actual rocks are different.
Interesting.
So it makes a difference, like where you are as far as rocks.
That's weird, and that's what blows me away, because in my world too, like I grew up doing enduros in southern Louisiana in pine trees, right? So I can talk to you about a lot of the different types of dirt, a lot of different trees, and like how like West Texas trees are different from East Texas trees, right? And you're doing the exact same thing, and I don't even think about that because I don't ride there. So it's really interesting to hear those same small idiosyncrasies of the different parts of the larger desert, like. Because
exactly,
it's not all the exact same, just sand, right?
Yeah, and you can't you can go through the bushes down here in Southern California most of the time, but you can't go through the bushes because they're too strong. They're like trees in Nevada, or they have like rocks behind them. So,
that doesn't sound fun.
And that comes with a lot of troubleshooting, I guess.
Yeah, like I learned that the hard way, and I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
It's we have mesquite trees in West Texas, and those are the guys. It's like if you ride it like you would a traditional bush in East Texas, where you can kind of lean into it a little and kind of cut the turn. It'll give and it'll kind of go with you as long as it's just some of the smaller, more sapling style limbs. But in West Texas, if you try to do that to a mesquite tree, it will either scrape the shit out of you or it will pull you off the bike half the time. So I'd imagine that's kind of what you're talking about, that they look like a tree or a bush, but it is a fierce object.
Exactly.
Oh, man. I love this. So, no Endurocross talk yet. Oh, man. We're just getting pounded in the chat room. So let's see about this. You are a Husqvarna rider, and your teammate, Mr. Colton Haker, won the Endurocross this past weekend in Atlanta to open up the 2016 series. How awesome is that?
That's awesome. We're really pushing that all Husqvarna, even Europe, we're all one team, and we all have the same goal. So it's awesome for him to win. He's an amazing rider, and I have yet to watch the recap, and I want to see him tear it up. And I know he can keep the ball rolling and take his second championship for the year.
Oh, it'd be so cool. And I think it's weird because we had Super Enduro, right, where he won the world championship there with the FIM World Championship, which, we got a chance to talk with him right after that. It was super amazing to do that. But then they had such a crazy break, right? And I get it. I totally, we've had this discussion. Like where we're at now, I think it's the smart thing to do. Even though we're in the back half, there's no Supercross in the way, there's no motocross in the way. It gives all the riders that are professionals in other disciplines of off-road racing to have a chance to actually enjoy watching some of the other types of racing. Now Endurocross, and it's much more truncated, so it's easier to keep the enthusiasm of the season going. But man alive, they just had like a 6, 7, 8 month break from when they finished the Super Enduro to now, and they haven't had a ton of stuff going on. So there's just been a lot of training for those guys to get to where they're at right now.
Yeah, and it's awesome that it's going to be every week, but it's going to be hard for the amateurs to get there. Like talking to some guys, it's hard to take that much time off of work and get to each round.
I can't disagree because you're absolutely right. But the thing is that is it going to be a little bit more of that Supercross, motocross model now, where the amateurs and the local pros are the ones that kind of start to be, the gate fillers in this case? They may not be able to follow the season like they did before because of the fact that it kind of spread it out like the National Enduros do. Right?
Yeah.
Or like Endurocross has in the past. And it's tough because that means as a series, they chose that they had to say, okay, well, we're going to kind of give those people up. But to your exact point, they're just not going to be able to take that kind of work off. They're not going to be able to pay somebody to take their bike and then fly in and out of 8 events throughout the back half of the year. That's just way too expensive, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Or SRT Off-Road, since they've got a huge team, maybe that's what Craig should do, is some kind of KR4 style Endurocross bike rental / trailer haul program.
That's not a bad idea. I would patent it.
Stamped. Yeah, because they do, what is it, Teddy Parks, right? Teddy Parks and one of the other guys, they do that. It's like a couple $100 a race. You got to sign on for the year, but you do a couple $100 a race a year, and he sets you up with a mechanic and the sponsors and things like that, and then they haul your bike around and haul you around and things of that nature. And if they're going to be doing an Endurocross like this, it kind of makes sense for maybe some of the guys that are kind of trying to get into that season, into that series, to have an ability of that nature. But I don't know. The thing that sucks is we're talking this conversation, and all we got a chance to do was watch a bunch of Facebook Lives, Instagram posts, and then read a press release, right? That sucks. I don't know why we can't have live Endurocross. Like and I'll admit, 2014 when we went to Atlanta, we did an okay job. We could do such a better job, but the problem is that it costs so much money to get out there. But I just don't like, and we're, it seems like it would be something that we should be able to do, but it's just not a thing for them. It sucks.
Yeah, I think it's totally doable. And like one of our announcers, George Anthill, comes out and he doesn't do like live like race course feed, but he does live results, and he sits at the podium and talks to everyone on live. So I mean, if we're making an attempt at Hare and Hounds, I feel like Endurocross can do it. Right.
That's a good point. They need and I hate to say this because this is going to be so sexist, but they need a social media intern chick. And not Meg, because Meg is the chairman. And that's the thing. It's like what people don't get, and I say it like that because that is a legitimate job. That is so stressful. Like
it is.
You're running around not only trying to take pictures from your phone, get video from your phone, you're trying to find signal to post all this crap. How do you talk to each channel, of your fans and followers and all that kinds of stuff? And then also making sure you're getting pictures from the people that are for the photographers for then you to post these much more professional pictures than from your camera phone, right? It's tough, man. And so you kind of need that dedicated person. So it's good to hear that he's kind of trying to get all that stuff going.
Yeah. And actually, I would talk to Erek's replacement. His name is Jacob Mickna, and his girlfriend Carly are now the race directors for NHHA. And before, he was doing the media. So he can answer all those questions.
I like it. Well, Jacob Mickna?
Yep.
All right. So he actually worked with us. We have been doing, I don't know if you noticed, but we did with Kenda, we've been doing the Kenda videos and things of that nature. And because of that, we wanted to get some more from the National Hare and Hound. So Jake is actually the one that worked with us to get a highlight footage from the race this past weekend. So I've got to do the voiceover and stuff and talk about you as the racers and things. But we'll actually have that recap up sometime tomorrow or Thursday. And that's all shot and edited by Jake. So that's interesting that you bring his name out because, I just met him online about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And I don't mean Tinder.
What is it? What's the gay one? Bender? Tinder?
Well, I think it says a lot that I didn't even know there was a gay one.
There is.
Or at least I'm going to admit to saying that I didn't know there was a gay one. Maybe. We shall see. So, third place, National Hare and Hound. Ricky Brayback being out of the country at the rally got you a lot closer in the points chase. Do you guys have 2 more rounds left?
Yeah. We have 2 more rounds up, like Erek says, and one is in Red Mountain, which I like, and one is in Lucerne Valley, which I also like. They favor my style a little bit more, I guess, and it's kind of like my home turf, so I'm pretty excited.
Very cool. That's awesome, man. And that's what's so neat too. Like you guys are so. Now take us through what we were talking about. How the desert is not just the desert, right? It's not all one big piece of sand. Like those 2 properties that you're kind of talking about. Like how do they differ, or how are they the same, terrain wise?
Well, like if you go to the Utah Hare and Hounds, like you could be racing through sand dunes for the full first loop. And then the second loop, you can go into some hard-packed trees that are really tight. Then if you go to Panaca, it's really fun sand washes, and there could be monsoons and river crossings. Idaho, there could be also river crossings, and it's like 2-track trail and single track, and it's like just a fast-paced trail ride with your buds the whole time. And then if you go down to Southern California, it's rough and hooped out, and it's just really tough. Not as far as technicality, but just racing in general, because the racing's really close, and it just takes a lot of effort and stamina and just a lot of work.
So Erek Kudla is saying that Red Mountain is his favorite. Is that one of the? You say they both suit your style very well, but would you say that Red Mountain is a favorite of yours, or is Erek Kudla crazy and a ginger?
Erek Kudla is a crazy ginger.
Yeah, he just likes it because it says red in the name.
He does. Maybe that's his favorite place. I like Lucerne, but
we should just change it to Ginger Mountain. That's probably why he's like, that's my favorite. One day it's going to be changed to Ginger Mountain. We'll see. Okay, so you've got those two events coming up, National Hare and Hound. We're going to try to see if we can talk to Scotty and get you into my spot for the Baja Rally. What else is coming up?
I may go do another Best in the Desert race. I'm looking maybe at the Blue Water Challenge. It's more like Hare and Hound. There's not as much logistics. And then other than that, I think I'm done for the year and just going to get ready for next year. I want to try to do some more rallies. I'd also like to go to Australia to do some desert racing. And Hare and Hound.
That's pretty epic, dude. Yeah, Australia would be pretty epic. Was it Ian Blythe that went last year, the year before, and did one of the rallies down there in Australia? But you would do like the Fink or something like that, right? You're probably not thinking rally as much as you are some of the desert racing that goes on down there?
Yeah, I want to go do the Fink, but I also want to do the Western Australia Tri-Series, just kind of as a warm-up for the Fink, because I know Toby's really good.
Yeah.
And I want to put like a good effort to try and compete with him. I know it's a big order, but I think I can do it.
Right.
And I have a lot of friends in Australia, so I think I can make it happen.
And you have a wife that I'm sure wouldn't mind taking a small trip to Australia either.
Yeah, actually, we're going there in November for our 1-year wedding anniversary.
Woohoo! Congratulations, man!
Thanks.
Let's just talk about that. How the hell has it been being married?
Really busy. Nah, we're consumed with racing. We've been in the desert the past 3 weekends, and then we got to go to Lucerne this weekend. Our life is consumed by desert racing, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, it's so interesting. Like, I'm definitely not the person, online on Seat Time. Now, if you want to go to Seat Time after dark, maybe. Am I going to give you advice on marriage? But what I think is so interesting is, like, as you go 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and I think we have 6 or 7 this year. Six in September. Oh, shit. That's next month. September 24th. Steven, remind me. It's just like weird. Like every year you like pick up different stuff that you would want to tell people, right? And then you go, you know what? If they ask, I'm going to tell them, but I can't be that guy that's like, look out for this. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like,
yeah.
One of those deals where like my advice isn't going to work for you because we're not the same. So it's interesting. Like I love it. Like, and having kids is the same. Like, everybody's like, oh, they grow up so fast. And I'm like, no, they don't. A year is 365 days. They grow up the exact same every year. It's just that when all of a sudden it's been 4 years, it's just hard to remember the fact that they were born 4 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
yeah.
It's been a fucking amazing 4 years. Like, it hasn't been too fast. It's been 4 years. Like, so that's why I'm always kind of like, it's just kind of interesting when people like have weird sayings or advice and things of that nature. So, I'm glad that you guys, it's awesome that you guys are a team headed towards a goal, right? You know what I mean? And that's I think marriage is more than anything else is like, because if it's two people with different ideas and they're heading 2 different directions, it's not going to work out. But you guys working together, not only your marriage, but like desert racing, like that's.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like our goals are perfectly aligned, and like my wife is awesome and she's really hardworking, and I definitely think we're going to make big things happen.
I like it. No big babies yet though, right?
Nah.
I like it. Smartest thing I ever did after that 3rd kid was get fixed. Just saying.
All right, I'll keep it in mind.
It's all now. It's back to practicing.
You can never get enough practice.
I agree. Like you could literally get better every day. It's a fantastic thing. Well, dude, any last word for us before we let you go and enjoy that sunrise or sunset that you're getting over there in Cali?
Well, thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. I think, hats off to Taylor Roberts. He rode awesome. I was listening to you guys talk earlier about Thad coming. And like this past weekend, there was rumor that Taylor was coming, and some people said, "Oh, he wouldn't do good," and some people said, like, "Yeah, he's gonna kick ass." And I took him very seriously. He's an awesome all-around rider, and I'm glad he came. It's good for Hare and Hound, and I talked to him after, and he said he had a blast, which is awesome. And as far as racing, come do a National Hare and Hound. We got a lot of good people working, and I think it's going to be the next big series on the West Coast.
I sure hope so. It's one of those situations where I've made one GNCC. I need to make more GNCCs, but at least I've made one, right?
You had your chance to come to New Mexico. We had an emergency replacement round, and you didn't come.
Mark Cook made it. Mark Cock, and I don't. There was something already going on that weekend. I know. I'm making excuses. I'm just saying.
It's okay. It was kind of an emergency round. We had some issues. It wasn't the standard format. It still went off great. But as far as next year, there could be another round in New Mexico you can make. You never know.
I like it. I'm down. Is it going to be, if it were theoretically happening, would it theoretically be in the same place it was last year?
Would it, Meg? What? In the same location? Oh, sorry, you can't hear me.
Earphones. Don't worry, I do that all the time.
Tell you the truth, I don't know. I know it could be in New Mexico, but I don't know where.
We could talk about people in New Mexico that might have a National Hare and Hound. I like it. Well, if it potentially shows up on a schedule, I will do my best to make sure that it winds up on my calendar.
All right.
I obviously look at this point, Mark Cook is probably already driving there, so I might as well just jump in his truck and take a bike. Oh, February Tarantula 100? What the hell is that? Erek Kudla's in the chat room talking about tarantulas and hundreds of them. I don't know, man. That guy scares me sometime. What are you going to do? But, dude, we really appreciate you coming on the show and taking some time. I'm sorry it's been so long, but, man, it's just, like, so tough sometimes to keep up with you crazy weirdos on the West Coast. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be on here anytime.
I love it, man. Well, keep it up. Keep up the good work. Have happy marriages. Have happy desert racing makings. And always enjoy a pint full of awesome, right?
Thank you. I will.
All right. Later, man. We'll talk about Baja Rally after the fact.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Woohoo! All right. So, guys, one of the things we didn't get a chance to talk too much about, remember the TKO photo epic. Make sure that you go check that out. Go to seatime.co, go to photo epics in the nav, and then go to the 2016 photo epic. We spent a lot of time trying to get that up there for you guys. We want you to enjoy those pictures. We want your feedback, too. What can we do better? What can we do different? If we went to more events, what would you want to see when we do into those kinds of events? Those things of those nature. Thursday evening, pay attention for us to be on the Muddy Microphone podcast. We'd love for you guys to go to subscribe to their podcast. Check them out. We're going to be talking about Seat Time Adventures, podcasting in general, and the fact that Steven's beard is more badass than my hair that is on top of my head. That is a thing. And then the Team USA shirt sale. So this, instead of being 1 week, will be a 2-week sale. They'll be on sale September 1st through September 14th, a full 2 weeks. Half of all the proceeds go to Team USA. It is our donation to them. This is something we need you guys to help us out with. When you see that happen, not only do we need you to buy T-shirts, but we need you to share the shit out of it, okay? It needs to make it all its way around the industry, and people need to be like, who are these Seat Time people, and why is this happening? We need your help. So please help us out. And remember, you can find Seat Time on Stitcher and iTunes. We as well have our podcast out there, just like Muddy Microphone Podcast. You can go subscribe to that on Stitcher and or iTunes, whichever kind of device you have. Or you can catch out the archives that we post. Obviously, they're on YouTube. And then they go to the website, seattime.co. Our sponsors are amazing. You need to make sure that you support them and thank them for supporting us. So flyracing.com, go check out the 2017 gear. It is still hot in Texas. The kinetic mesh gear is not a bad idea. Kenda Tires, remember to look out for the Instagram caption contest coming your way to win a rear 18-inch Kenda Ibex so that you can test out the badassness of extreme enduro in your backyard trails, or just look at and have fun and try to make a new toilet seat out of it. Whatever you want, you can be yours free. Just pay attention to Instagram. And then SRT Off-Road at srtoffroad.com. If you need to protect your bike, you need to go look for your Kenda Ibex tires. You need to buy some of that stuff online. They're a great online source to do that, to get some bitchin' bike protection. Go check them out. Of course, thank you very much. I am your host, Brian Pierce. You can find me on the internet at Woody B. Pierced all over the place. That's my stuffs. Man, we'll be live again next week. We'll be talking about all kinds of cool shit going on. We got Endurocross. We got races. We got beers to drink. It's going to be a good time. And we're going to have more pictures of the T-shirt all over the place. Look for that stuff on Thursday. As always, remember to enjoy a pint full of awesome. And we'll see you next week. Peace.